I've been processing my feelings throughout the day, and it turns out that deep down, I am absolutely fuming. I am livid to the core. In all honesty, uh, yeah, I'm pissed. I am pissed. I recently shared a video where I spoke about having to sort of potentially return back to warehousing for the time being, as a form of income. And in normal conditions, I would say that's reasonable. Who cares? It's an income. But for me, it's a case of you try to outgrow the past in a sense, and the universe continually pulls me back there. And it's like, when do I finally get my breakthrough? I get so many signs, so many synchronicities pointing towards that breakthrough, and it's like, at what point do I get let loose though? I'm more than qualified for the next stage of the journey. Yeah, I think my intelligence shines through. Anyone that sees my videos, I have communication skills that are elite. I think elite. I'm good at expressing myself, and I don't think I don't want to say many better, but I'm on par with those that are professional. The work I do is on par with any of those that are considered professional, and yet because I don't gain a resource from it, it's seen as a hobby. It's like, this is outrageous. It really is. On the one hand, it seems lazy because you're not. And this is how it feels internally. And I've had this my whole life. I've had this from those that are around me, and it's like, so it's naturally ingrained in me. We also carry some sort of trauma, and I naturally feel lazy when I'm not doing what society expects of us. So for me, if I'm not in a warehouse chucking a box everywhere, moving stock, loading something, unloading something, if I'm not doing that, then I feel like I'm lazy, and I may feel that throughout life. I may do wonderful things where I'm talking on stage, I'm healing and helping people for a crisis, and I'll probably always feel that this is just a hobby. When do I have to go back to work? It's outrageous, and it's like, this is so I am deep down absolutely pissed off, and I've been fed up for a long time, but it's sort of been simmering, and it's outrageous. I'm trying to get a book done, and there's 3 books. I can potentially have 3 books out this year, and yet on some level they're pointless. They're pointless because it's not providing me an income yet. There's not an audience for it. So I'm doing this like I've done every other project. I've done it for free while so much else weighs on my shoulders. So I have to still do what everybody else does. I haven't managed to break through yet. And there is going to be people like that. You have to keep working at your craft while you still have to do something else to pay the bills, to do this. I remove myself from there. My life's hard at times, because of it, because I just downright refuse sometimes to budge, because I say, look, I'm not doing that. I'm focusing on my projects, and I don't care how hard life gets. But it'd be nice if life just caught up a little bit. So effectively, I, the expectation then is that I work the same hours everybody else works in a traditional position. Everybody else can go home, scratch their ass, do whatever they want in their own downtime. They can be absolutely chaotic if they want to do. They can go home, get drunk, cause chaos. Who gives a shit? Do what you want. It doesn't matter. And you can recycle that. You can you go to work again, and then you can behave in the same way. Repeat, 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 repeat. And it seemed like that's viable. That's fair. That's reasonable. That's a good life. Me? Me? I will have to, yeah, potentially, and I've had to do it in the past. I've done it so many times. None of these books just happened out of freaking thin air. It takes a lot of dedication to do this. So I've had to do some of them. I've done while I'm working somewhere full time. So like I said, other people get home, they do what the hell they want. I'm coming home, working my ass off all the time. If I'm not doing my books, I'm sitting here on camera. I produce so many videos. And it's like, I do that for free. So like, what is the point? Why can't I have downtime? So at the moment, it's like, work on the books. I do so many videos. If I'm not doing the book, it's a load of videos. That's work. Because it doesn't give me an income, I'm expected to. There's always so much expected of me in my life, and it's always been the same way. It's a frustration that sometimes gets absolutely unbearable, to be honest. You get these influencers that they do half of what I do. And I'm not trying to compare or put something down, but creating video content isn't exactly hard once you've sort of made it something you're good at. It's effortless after a while, you know? And there's a lot of these influencers that just they can literally pay all their bills by just that alone. I can't do any of that with what I do. I can't even get freaking 20 views. And I can't even sell regular copies of my books. And by extension, the audio books. They'll sell in stages here and there. So they're not having the impact yet. Why? Because Spirit wants to hold me hostage to an extent until they're ready to release me. So meanwhile, the pressure's always on and I have to find a way to survive all the time. So sometimes I do have an internal battle with Spirit Universe. I know some people won't understand that. They will one day. I have no doubt in the future, because you can't hold me back for that long, because what a waste. The work I do could heal the planet. It literally could heal the planet. And that's not ego. Read the books, watch my videos from an open mind, from a neutral mindset, rather than still look at it like you're trying to compete with me. To take away the competition and actually just absorb the information and just recognize how healing it is. So there's no way that could be held back. It doesn't even make sense. What would be the point of losing that? You know. And I get it. Some people, they get in the spotlight out of nowhere, and then people think, where the hell did this come from? How the hell did you keep them? How the hell were they kept a secret? Oh, Spirit's good at cloaking some of us, believe me. So I have to feel like I'm not doing enough. And I have to go back to situations where it is beneath me. And I don't like saying things are beneath me. So Spirit wants to humble me. They don't want me to feel anything's beneath me. But I've done it for years, back at like warehousing and things. It's like, I know it can come across arrogant, but I'm sick and tired of having to sort of like keep backpedaling. When I was on the forklifts, for instance, I can drive multiple forklifts, about 5 different forklifts. I can't remember all of them now. I could do side loader, I can do bendy, I can do reach, I can do counterbalance. I can even do the counterbalance with a clamp attachment. There's so many variables and variations to them. Gas, battery, diesel, whatever. I can do all these. And in my last role with a very major utility company, I was the most consistent and fast on the reach truck. And yet I hadn't used them in over a decade. And yet I was the fastest. And reliable. Like I said, I didn't have accidents because I take it serious. I don't treat it like it's like like it's not dangerous. I understand the danger of it, and I'm consistent. And sometimes I look at my life and I just think, if you think about talents that we all have, it's like I'm great on a forklift. It's like you give me the forklift, I can do the job perfectly fine. And if I didn't have the skills I have now and what I'm good at in a different direction, I could do that for life and I'll be fine doing it. But I can't do that and do this. I can't be everything. I get really freaking pissed off. Because why should I be exhausted for my whole life? You start to grow and build towards something, and you're just thinking you're doing it. There's a reason to this. It's adding up and it's making waves, and you'll get your breakthrough. And every year is a disappointment. Last year was shit. Like literally shit. And I'm even saying it to Spirit yesterday, I think it was. I said, last year was a freaking joke, mate. I understand last year was all about setting boundaries, really, seeing people for who they are and cutting people out of my life. That was an important lesson, I don't doubt. Still a shit year. Horrible year, like 2024. I won't look back at 2024 with many fond memories because I break things down into seasons and months, and it wasn't great. It was a financial freaking mess. Yeah, I get really fed up sometimes. I get really fed up because it's just not fair. I'm all about, for me, my life's built on like, integrity and justice. And yet there's no justice for me. It's not fair. You give people the same tools as me. So if I was given the same tools as everybody else, the same opportunities, the same freedom, I'd smash it out of the park. I really would. I look at other people, especially those that are at the top of their field, like the Jordan Petersons, for instance. I don't think he's any smarter. 5 years ago, yeah, he was. But I've evolved rapidly, and I'm always learning. And I don't look at his teachings anymore and learn from him. I learn from myself, and I'm good at expressing myself. I have my own style. I don't mimic. I don't only say that state their name just because they are the top of the field in some regards. In terms of psychology and philosophy and things like this. These are my strengths. These are my core values. These are what I'm great at. So yeah, I'm having a bit of a moment where I'm having to sort of process and try to come to terms with what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, because I'm pissed. If I didn't have this skill, my back wasn't always having issues, I could have spared my life in a warehouse, and I wouldn't have considered it menial. I was happy. I was proud doing the work I did. It's fine. But I can't keep doing it because it just keeps affecting my back, and you're going to have long-lasting problems with that. And I've got other things I'm good at, and there's no point me denying that and dimming it. So I just don't know what the answer is sometimes. I ask Spirit and they give me the answers, and it's like they want me to do that for a bit. And it's like, but why? The question comes, it's like, and that's what I'm like confronting a bit at the minute. It's like, I go back to jobs I've done in the past. There's no evolution. It's a dead end. I've reached the top of what it is, apart from becoming a supervisor, an assistant manager, a manager, whatever. I don't want to be a manager of a bloody warehouse. I've never wanted that shit. I've been offered roles not offered the roles. I've been offered the opportunity to interview for roles that I never even applied for, to be a supervisor, for instance, which of course then puts you on the management trail. I never wanted it. There was a job I had a long time ago, about 15 years ago now, maybe even longer now, actually, probably. And it was on the Docklands at a port. It was my first time working for somewhere like that. I just left a massive distribution centre for a big retail company. A lot of people had moved over to this Docklands, this big paper reel distributor for newspapers. So as people I worked with had already got offered opportunities, I was like, no, I'm staying here. Then I kept seeing more people going. I thought, well, I'll put an application in. I didn't want to get left behind and stuck there. I like these people. So I'll see. And then I got a phone call to say that the managing directors of the company had seen my resume, my CV, and they were interested in interviewing me for the supervisor role. I said, I would much rather just what I applied for. Thank you. I was young. I was like 24, something like that. I weren't ready for anything like that. I wasn't even interested in anything like that. But yeah, if I wanted to, I could have pursued it, and then I could be a manager or that. But it's like I don't care about none of that. I don't do well with rules. I couldn't possibly be. I wouldn't even want to be a manager of a warehouse at all. I don't like things. They talk about KPIs all the time. It's all key performance indicators. Effectively, everybody's a robot, and how is the robot performing? How much more can we get out of them? So, like, literally, how hard can we work that person and lose all their core values and make them miserable if we can get a little bit more productivity? That's what it comes down to. And there's no way I would ever work for. I'm too confrontational. I would be a problem. If I was a manager, anyone that puts pressure on me to put pressure on the people below me to perform better when I know they're working hard, I would not put up with that shit. So they'd have to replace me because I tell them to fuck off. The people are doing as good as they can. It's like you should respect the work they're doing, because if it weren't for them, you wouldn't get anything happening. So, you respect them, they do the best they can. If you want better, if you want more, hire more. So I'm not a yes man. You can't hire me as a yes man. I would just tell you to fuck off as soon as you're disrespectful. It's like, I don't care how high you are. At my last job, for instance, at a big utility company, everybody's scared shitless because it's my best paying job, and everybody knew that it was their best paying job. So, and we're getting treated like shit sometimes, and everyone always knew I was the one that would speak up. So what did they do? They always come running to me. Like, I had a period where I was off for a bit because of my back. I was off for like 2 or 3 months at one point, and it was like, either return now or never return again. That's how it was getting. It was like, I have to make a decision. So I went back knowing full well my back isn't ideal, and I made it work for as long as I could. And it's like, it was destroying me. It's heavy stuff. It's heavy parts, But I go back into work, and I've got everybody like bothering me, saying, "Oh, they're doing this now, they're doing that," and I'm thinking, why are you telling me? Why didn't you say something? Why haven't you said anything about it? Why haven't you confronted them? And they're all getting pissed off. You know, they're all sort of fed up. And it's like, oh, they know. If you keep pushing me, I'm going to get pissed off and I'm going to say something. I'm like a fire keg. And that's exactly what happened. So I've got like the nearly the top manager of the company, like a big national utility company. It was the logistics director, so really high up, not far off very top. And he come round. He's wearing his shirt. He thinks everybody's like when they think there's something. And then below that we've got the warehouse. In terms of the management, and then you've got my manager. And it's all these different tiers of managers. And I kid you not, as soon as I'm like a fire keg. Everybody else keeping their mouth shut. You've got the drivers, everybody. They want to do a meeting with everybody. Everybody's like keeping shut. And then he said, any questions? No one's going to say anything. I'm like, I got a question. I said, what's going on with the T brakes? I said, apparently we're losing brakes now. He said, I haven't heard about that. I go, well, that's what I'm hearing when I come back. I said it's freaking in the summer. It's sweltering in here. It's too hot. It's unbearable. You can't be expected to work these hours in these conditions. In the winter, it's freezing. This is unreal. I said it ain't fit for purpose. So to take breaks away is disgusting. And he's like, well, I'm sure we can have a conversation with the team, and we'll come up with something, and I'll get back to you. My manager's mouth's gotten dry. He's like staring at the floor. When he does that, he's pissed. He's lost respect for you now. And that was just one of them. I said a few things. So like a few days later, not that guy, he's gone. But we've got like two managers in there, my manager and the one above him, and then the rest of our little team in the warehouse. And they're coming up with things, and I'm just sitting there like this. Because I'd said my piece. I've got nothing else to say. It's more, I want people to start speaking up, It's like, I'm not your spokesperson. So the one above my manager, the highest one in the warehouse, in the building, he's like, you've got enough. If you've got, like, he's waiting, and he's like, because I hadn't said nothing, he said, have you got anything to say? Like, expecting me to have something to say. I said, no, I've said everything I've got to say. Because I get fed up talking for other people. It's like everyone else needs to grow a pair of balls and just say what's on your freaking mind. Don't expect me to back you up every time. And I just got a bit fed up then. I just thought, these people, look, everybody's clowns. They ain't got the balls to say anything. And they're terrified of their shadow, And I warned, if the conditions don't change, I won't be staying here. And in the end, I don't know if people thought I was bluffing, but I left. I haven't looked back. It was a shithole. The building wasn't even big enough for purpose. You've got these pipes and everything out in the yard. There's nowhere to move them. They're heavier than some of the machinery even allows. I don't know if there's been an accident there, but I think it was an accident waiting to happen. Also, a security risk. Anyone can get in and out of the yard, and there's no protection, And it's stuff that may be valuable to the wrong people. And one of the things I absolutely hated was the fact there was call-outs. If it was your week, you had to be available all the time. So if the phone rang, you had to get into work immediately. Even if you do all your shift, then you can get multiple calls in the same evening, all the way up until the shift starts again in the morning. And I was like pissed off with that. I didn't want that. I said, I don't care about the money. I don't want this shit. But it was part of your duties. In the end, I managed to keep deferring it to someone else. But you could have been going out there, and there could have been a security incident. It could be a health and safety problem because things could have happened while you're there. It's only you and maybe someone else, and the other person's not qualified to use anything. What good are they going to be if there's an incident? All sorts of things, really. It was just a mess, to be honest. It was poorly run. I was forever moaning about the pallets because the pallets in the racking were like damaged or waterlogged and things, and it was just like really heavy, like 2-ton things sitting on these pallets, and the pallets are like snapped and buckled. And it's like, that's the first level. How bad is the top? Other forklift operators were like overlapping pallets and shit, and I was like getting pissed off because I said, that's too dangerous. I'm not touching that one. There was a time when they put pallets, they double stacked these pallets, and it was like this much space between the top of the racket, and I said, I'm not touching that. I ain't touching that because you could end up taking out the other racket above with that sort of shit. I'm not playing. The other drivers would do it. They'd do it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. My argument is Goods In should be able to split the pallet when it comes in, and we've got 2 pallets, and they're perfectly fine. So I moaned so many times, And apparently it got reached the top manager in the warehouse, the top one. And someone said, well, like, they said, what's the problem? They said, well, Steve's refusing to do it. And they said, why? And he explained it. And apparently he said, well, that's right. So later on, one of the supervisors said something to me later. I was complaining about something. And he said, why won't you do it? Like, why won't you do it? But everyone else does. I said, everyone else are idiots. I said, it's not safe. I said, and it turns out that the manager agrees with me. He weren't happy. I just said, and he was my supervisor as well. I just said, dickhead. If I've got a problem with someone, I'm up front. I don't piss about. The other supervisor, for instance, was pissing me off. He talks behind your back, and I'm a very direct person. If you've got a problem, I'd rather just say it. I think you're weak when you talk behind someone's back. So one day I just come in pissed with this other manager. I said to the supervisor, he's always kissing ass with everybody else, but you can't kiss ass with me because it don't work. So they know that with me. So you're not going to coerce me with anything, So then I started becoming a bit of the outcast in that sense. But I had like 3 or 4 people that I really got on with. The others I just put up with, if you like. But I tried to keep small talk to a limit because I don't trust them. I don't talk to people I don't trust. But the supervisor was just doing my head in, So I come in one day. I just said, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here. So one of the guys said, well, if you don't drive the flight, what? Because they're not used to it. I'm normally the forklift guy, the reach truck. And he was like, well, I don't understand. I said, no, you take it. I don't care. I'm sitting here. So he's gone up and spoke to the supervisor to tell him that he's going to do it. And he said, no. So he's come back again and said, well, he's saying if you don't do that, you're going to have to do the yard or something. I can't remember, something manual. And I said, for fuck's sake, I was losing it. So I've got on the truck and I've gone down the aisle, chat to one of my friends. And then the supervisor's come down, and he said, what's going on? Apparently you've got a problem. I said, yeah, I don't like you. So I said to him, I don't like you. And he said, well, what's going on? I said, I don't trust you. You talk behind people's back. I've got no respect for you. He said, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Maybe it's best we just keep it professional from now on. I said, yeah, I think so. I had another problem with someone else as well, an absolute dipshit. And that's the thing with me. Like, if you're fair and respectful, I'm very respectful. If you're not, and I see I don't like you, I can't be around you. I can't. It just drives me crazy. And it's really problem with warehouses. It's full of absolute dipshits on some levels. Especially management and supervisors. I can't handle it. So there's if I have to go back to one of these places, there's no guarantee how it's going to play out. I can't work for an idiot and I can't follow a moron. It's just the way I am. So yeah, it's going to be interesting if that's what I have to go back to, because like I say, I think that's the past now. Like, why are we going backwards? What's the point of not even trying to outgrow it? What's the point of outgrowing anything if you can never beat the past? If you can never move on from the past, what's the point of trying, if you like? It doesn't really bode well, does it, when you can't break through? But like I say, if you look at those people, and that's one of the things I always found quite amusing. One of the supervisors, there was a role opening up, and they were like, all the others, like one of the guys that come in last was always saying like, oh, I need one of these guys to go so I can be a supervisor. And I thought, why would you be supervisor? You're the last one, you bloody moron. If you had a military background, but it was just a chef. I thought, what the fuck is that? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a shit if you've been in the army. That makes no difference to anything. But in their eyes, it is. And weirdly, when you're hiring, that goes well. And I just think it's bloody mental, because they had hired a lot of RAF people and army people. My manager, for instance, was army. And the guy above him was actually in the army as well. And it was his boss in the army. I don't know the ranks. I don't give a shit. But again, even these are army people. I'm still arguing with them, I don't give a shit. They didn't know what they were doing. It's like ridiculous. You're army people who have no background in warehousing, or very limited. And yet some of us have been working warehousing most of our lives. So we understand logistics. We understand how a functional warehouse operates from inbound to outbound and the whole process in between. So we understand the structure and the processes, and we know how to use all the equipment. And yet you've got someone who doesn't have that, but they've got a military background telling you what to do. And then they're making mistakes all over the place. And you're like, this is absolutely crazy. It's like dealing with a toddler. I'm saying to my manager, for instance, like, we're running out of pallets. Like, I can't do the job without a pallet because it's impossible. How the hell can I do anything? And he goes, what do you mean there's no pallets? I said, there's no fucking pallets. Have you ordered any pallets? He's like, well, no. Well, then how the hell were they going to arrive if you haven't ordered them? So then he started doing some shady, dodgy shit. Instead of buying some good pallets, he found a supplier who will trade our shit ones for some semi-shit ones. That's what he was doing. And it was like, these are not fit for purpose. They're all different sizes, like, because they tried to do this conforming thing. I think they wanted euros and stuff, but it was an absolute mess. They even had blue pallets. Anyone knows anything about logistics knows blue pallets are licensed. So they're like rented. So effectively, you should never have. You can get fines for having blue pallets in a warehouse that is not that hasn't got a contract for the blue pallets. They had blue pallets. Shouldn't have had blue pallets. There's a lot of crazy shit in that place. It was like cowboys. It felt like cowboys. There's one time like another manager. He's since been replaced. I think sacked, but they don't like saying that. On the other side of the building, it was crazy the way this building was laid out. I said, why isn't there bay doors at the back? If you're going to have if it's going to be functional out the back of the yard, like the back of the warehouse on the other side, why is there not a bay door so we can get out there? You've got these 2 fire doors or 3 fire doors, but you can't get any equipment through it. That doesn't even make sense because it wasn't built for purpose, but they reckon they built it for the purpose. It's not even big enough for the job. So we had this massive pipe. Like a concrete thing, but it's freaking huge. I don't know how many tons it is, but it's like many tons. This thing was huge. On the back of this trailer, it filled the bed of the trailer. And this guy, but again, I know who knows warehousing. This guy didn't have a clue, and I'm not listening to an idiot. I don't care what idea he comes up with. He's telling us, because they're going to pick it up with a forklift now. They're going to put some straps around it. Now, straps can snap. And that's a very heavy freaking pipe, and it's freaking huge. I ain't pissing about. My life's far more important than whatever this dickhead thinks. Believe that, and I'm not stupid. So I'm telling people, I'm not sure I wouldn't listen to this guy. I don't even care at this point. This is like life now. I said I wouldn't even listen to him. I said there's no way, because he's trying to tell me. He's trying to say, "Well, come on, guys, try and get in the middle. Try and get no fucking way. There's no way to escape if I'm in the bloody middle. I'm like on the end, and in the end, I jumped. I fucking jumped down." I don't want anyone getting hurt, but I'm not risking my life for this shit. It's up to you if you want to freaking risk shit. Yeah. So I went in the building, and I'm speaking to other supervisors and some of the guys from upstairs. They're higher ranked, but I don't know what rank. Different departments. And I said, that guy out there is a fucking idiot. I said, he's like a cowboy. They said, well, what's going on? I said, there's a massive fucking pipe out there, and he wants us standing behind it while they try and lift this damn thing. And they go, well, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I said, that's what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden, we just heard a massive bang. And the guys are coming in. They weren't hurt, but they're going, fucking hell, he's only going to dent at the back of the warehouse. I was like, this guy's a cowboy. This is why you shouldn't just listen to people at work. Your life matters. And I can't, I say, you can't work for dickheads. I can't do it. In all honesty, though, I don't have a hard time. Once I'm looking for warehouse roles, I do get offered them usually. There was a job I applied for. I didn't take it in the end. When I went for the interview, this is before that job. I had different departments. They were both really interested in me. And then when I got offered it, I phoned the people up. Because at first I was going to do it, but it was this weird shift. It was too long. The shift was crazy. I think it was like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. or something shit. And it was like, oh, I can't do that. I can't finish work. I can't do that. Where's your rest? You just work. I don't want work. That's not a healthy lifestyle. I want balance to my life. I like 6 till 2. I like to get the day done early, and then you've got some evening or something. I don't want to be working the whole way and then rushing to have dinner to go back to bed. What am I doing? What's your life becoming? But at first it sounded interesting, and I had both department managers wanted me on their team. I had another job as well where I think there's 3 departments wanted me, and I was hired by the one that had the most prestigious role. It made them the most money, so they wanted me there. And I kept having someone else keep trying to say, look, if you ever want to move over to us, just let us know. So it's nice that I get respect in the right environment. I think really a case of if someone, I think that's life. Some people see your value, some people don't. And it's like, each your own. The difference with me, I think, compared to most people, I'm ready to walk away at a given moment. I don't give a shit. I could get hired somewhere. If it's shit and you treat me like respect, I could just walk out that moment. I'm really volatile like that. I just don't give a shit because you can always get another job. I don't care. There was another guy. I was doing great. I got on well with my team leader. Um, she needed someone to stay on, do a later shift. I can't remember exactly how it played out, but she really needed something. There was going to be a delivery, and I was like, "Oh, for Christ's sake, I don't like working late." I did some overtime, but I was like, "I don't want to work late though. I don't want to stay there till like 8:30, just in case this thing gets done, you know." But I said to her, I said, "Yeah, I'll do it because I owe you." She goes, no, you don't. No. I said, yeah, could you let me have? I said, no, because when I wanted time off for my daughter, like when you book a holiday, they don't normally give it, and she'd approved it. I said, no, you gave me that. I owe you. She goes, no, you don't. I said, no, I do it, and I did it for her. So like, I'm like I said, justice and everything matters to me. So if I feel someone's done me a good, like do me a good solid, I'll back them up too when they need a help, you know. Um, and then this dipshit of a team lead, like she got moved because she had COVID at one point, and then someone else come in as a super team leader, and he was just like a peacock, you know. Someone just keeps trying to flout, trying to act like they know what they're doing. It was working. We didn't even our department on shipping. We had everything going out like clockwork. We knew the schedule. We knew exactly what we're doing. Leave us alone. It gets done every day. It gets done. You know, it'll always be finished. And this guy just couldn't stop trying to tinker with shit, and he just kept pissing me off. And it was like, don't bother me, mate. You know, because there was two sides. There was one that was really heavy side, and I don't mind doing that in shifts, but I'm not doing that for the whole day. I talked to the guys over there. I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of them were ready to quit. So that's how bad it is, you know. Other people going home happy. These people are going home exhausted. How is that fair in the whole building, you know? One team works ridiculously hard, like it's physical. No, I'm not doing that level of shit. That's just this. You don't even get paid any extra. That's crazy. So one day he put me over there, and I was like, oh, I'm not going over there, because we come up with this little sheet in the morning, where are you placed? And I just stayed where I am, where I normally go. And one time he come in, and this is the cowardice shit. Bear in mind, they're a team leader, for God's sake. It's like, freaking speak. And he comes over, gets everyone together, doesn't say anyone's name specific. He says, right, I need people to start checking that sheet, and wherever you're assigned, you go to where you're assigned. But he didn't call anyone out by name. And I had a word with him later. And I said to him, look, I'll be honest with you. I said, if I have to work over there, I won't be able to stay here. I was respected again. I'd worked in a different department before, and they didn't even want to let me leave. This is the thing. I'm not boosting an ego here. This is what I'm like, though. Some people see your value, is what I'm saying. So I had two team leaders on a different department. It was inbound, and they loved me over there. And I was getting bored, though, because sometimes there was like cold spells, like where there's not a lot to do, and I need to be busy. If my mind is not stimulated, you better give me stuff to do physically to keep me occupied. Otherwise, I'll lose it. I don't like being bored. You know, when it's something that challenges my mind, stimulates me, like a book, I can't get bored. When my mind's firing, I can't ever be bored. You put me in a bit of boring warehouse, if the music's not loud and stuff, and you've got nothing to entertain me, distract me, I will lose my shit. Time will just stand still, and I can't handle that. So some people like laziness. I don't. So I was like, I need to go something. I know shipping was busy. So I was going, I want to move over there. And they said, can't let you go though. We need you here. So I had to go round them and get the other guys to let me over there. And then eventually they said, if you come and do some overtime for us, we might be able to like get you over here, just to get you over, just see how you get on and thing. So I started staying an hour or two extra each day just to get up, just to see how I get on. And eventually they said, right, we'll sort it out. And I was working over where I was working. They come and got me and said, right, you're with us now. And this, weirdly enough, this is the same guy I've got the freaking problem with later, because at that point he was just a supervisor. Now he's team leader. Now his attitude's changed. Mr. freaking High Horse. Plus he didn't like my popularity. People get like that, they get threatened. Absolute moron of a human being. But anyway, so I said to him that if I have to work this department, I said I'll end up leaving, because you don't get paid enough for that shit. I can get paid similar and not do as much as that. That's too heavy. That's unreal. That's unbearable. Not enough people working over there to maintain that. He goes, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I would never let you. I would never do that, because I know how much you enjoy it. What you do. I know you're getting on and you're enjoying it over there. I was like, all right. As long as we know what we're doing, that's fine. I go, that's good then. That's cool. Imagine my surprise. A couple of days later, he's moved me over there. And I'm like, this guy. So I didn't go there. I carried on working my normal plate station. I was doing things, I was loading on my own. Anyone asked me for help, I'd help. I'd even go and help the other department when there's nothing to do, inbound. And I thought I was being kind, because sometimes they were struggling. It was fun though. I like doing all that. See, I'd say my back's a problem, but when it weren't hurting, I would throw myself in. We had some heavy shit come in. It was all like filled to the top of this container. And we're like doing like army barrel rolls over these things and stuff. And we're just having a laugh. I like just to have fun. There's no point making like work boring. And we're literally nearly dropping shit on ourselves. We're getting nearly hurt, but it's, we're having a laugh. We all understand the danger and the fun of it, though. Um, it was good times. I have fond memories of certain aspects of the job. But yeah, later on I had, because it was still agency at that point. I'd left before to write one of my books, then I returned. So I saw there was a job opportunity, so I went back again, and they hired me, of course, because obviously I said I'm back there. So this agency manager's come round to said, I can have a word with you. I was like, right, what's up? He goes, well, I've had a few complaints. I said, complaints? He said, yeah, apparently you're not staying, you're not doing what they want you to do. They said, need you, like, because at that point I'd been asked to go back on that shitty area, and I said, oh, I'll do it for a little while. And so that's where he caught me over there. And I thought, I'm not staying here. And then he said, I need you to stay here because they apparently they're not happy. I said, what? I said, this is the first time hearing of it. What are you talking about? And they say, so apparently you're talking too much. I said, talking too much. I said, they just hired this guy, one of the guys down there, and all he does is talk and walk around the warehouse. He even goes upstairs where he's not even needed to be upstairs. I said, he just fucks off all the time. They go, right, but we're talking about you though. I was like, right. And he goes, look, we've never had any problems with you. Like, no one's ever said we've never had any issues at all. Yeah, and I'm like, well, so where's the problem then? Where's that come from? They go, to be honest, I don't know, but they're saying you're not listening. I said, they ain't listening. I said, they're fucking idiots. Bear in mind, they were just walking past at the bottom at that point. I'm talking loud on purpose because I can see them in my eye line of sight. I said to him, look, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I've been thinking of leaving because it's driving me nuts now with this guy. I said, so like, if I'm being honest with you, like my mind's firing at the moment and I could just walk out now. I said, I'm trying not to, but if he says one word to me, I'm going to kick off. He goes, well, I don't want that happening. I don't want that happening. Just try to relax. Hopefully just get through this shift. Just try and get through the shift and see how it goes. I kid you not, this motherfucker. I finished that. There's nothing else coming out for a minute. So I've gone back to my old station where I'm working, chatting to some of the guys there because there's not a lot going on. There's no point just expecting us to stand there and look productive. Like, freaking hell. They expected to sweep sometimes, and yet they've got a whole cleaning team that sweep. Do the cleaning team come and help us do the shipping? It's like, I don't care about doing menial tasks, but sometimes it's like, why can't we have a moment to rest when it's we've worked our asses off? This dickhead, he's walking around. At first, he was trying to avoid me, the guy that had the problem in the first place. And I was like, I can't deal with this shit. Because I went and spoke to one of the guys. I said, anyone said anything to you about talking or anything, or you're not listening? They go, no. I said, so it's just directed at me then? They go, well, it looks like it. I was like, this motherfucker. So I've seen the supervisor like there. I'm like, oh, wait. We need to chat. And he's like, well, what's going on? I said, well, apparently you got a fucking problem. I said, you haven't said shit to me. He goes, why? What? I've seen one of my books. He goes, why won't you do as you're told? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Because at this point, I'm losing it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, I told you to go over there. I said, yeah, and I told you I'm not doing that. And like, he didn't know, but it's not I shouldn't have to explain it. I didn't want to do that heavy shit and be that exhausted because I was writing one of my books. I think it was Heal Your Mind to Free Your Soul. I was writing that book while I'm doing this job, and sometimes I'm doing overtime. I'm fucking knackered. He's like, that's not realistic. That's not fair to be expected to do all this shit. He didn't know about the book. But I thought, I'm not explaining it. So he goes, why won't you do that? Why won't you do as you're told? I thought, I paused for a minute, but I thought, I'm not telling you anything about my book because it doesn't even matter. Even if I didn't have the book, this is outrageous. So he goes, will you go back over there? And I said, I had to pause because I'm composing myself now because I know now it's like I could walk off. And I'm trying to keep myself from doing something I might regret. I'd always live with no regrets. So it's always like, take a moment if you have to, and that's how I'm thinking. So I said, if I go over there now, will I be there tomorrow? And he goes, maybe. Because I think it's like a Thursday or something. I go, right. I go, what about next week? Will I be there next week? He goes, perhaps. I thought, you're a dickhead of a human. You are. Because the way he was talking, it was quite obvious. He would do it just to be petulant. He was obviously going to do it just to wind me up. Really, what it wasn't about winding me up. It was about if you could, it's like I'm like a wild stallion. It's like if you can tame this wild stallion, then it really boosts your freaking ego, doesn't it? Because everyone's obviously knows my personality. They know I'm a free spirit. I'll literally move all over the place, but I'm always helping people. So I'll go and help inbound. If I see one of the inbound guys like trying to unload a container on their own, they've got no one helping them because people try and avoid the hard work. Even the teammates don't even want to do it. So I'm like, I'll come and help you, and I'm throwing myself on there. We're throwing the boxes. It's like hard work, really heavy shit. And I'll help them have a little go. Then I'll go and do my stuff. You could argue, well, then why don't you go and lift the other bits? But that's non-stop for the whole shift. That's freaking mental. That's for like an hour. I can help you for an hour. Um, and he knew that with me. And I had one guy always going around on this electric thing. He was always like shouting my name from across the warehouse. All you hear is Steve. It was funny, but it was a bit of a dumb ass. It was like, my God, does he have to do that every time? And he would always do it. So of course he wants to try and control me in this game. So I said, well, look, can I go back to my old area then? Can I go back to inbound? And he said, no. I go, why? He said, because I need you here. I thought, you are a piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking, you're an absolute knob. So he said, will you go back? I said, no, I'm going home. That was me quitting on the spot. We had about an hour and a half left of the shift. I thought, I can't even put up with it. I couldn't even put myself over there for another hour with that shit on my head, just knowing that he's just caging me like an animal. You disrespected me when I work my ass off and I do enough. If you just left me alone, everything gets done. Why bother me? Why bother me? Why cage me like that? I'm not a caged animal. So so I did that. And as he's walking away by mine, not there, as he's got further away, he's like, good. I thought, you're a dick. So I've left, and then I've messaged the the agency guy. Bear in mind, we'd only spoken a couple of hours before, maybe. And he was like, trying to see the shift out. I said, bad news. I said, didn't last the shift. He's like, well, what's happened? I said, he pushed me. I said, he pissed me off. I said, I can't work with that guy anymore. I said, so I've quit. I said, but if inbound have a position, I'd come back and work for those guys. So he had a word with them. Bear in mind, at that point, the inbound team was struggling to get, because there's certain periods to this company work where, like spring, winter, like springtime, it goes quiet. Summer, it picks up. So inbound weren't really getting a lot of work. So a lot of their staff kept getting messages not to come in today, and that was going on and on and on. So yeah, so I understood where they come from. So I got told that they've said that they would love to have you back. They've got good, or they just had good things to say about you. But they said they can't take you back because it wouldn't be fair for them to take you back while other people are not even got any work at the moment. And I was like, that's fair enough. That's fair play. And he said, hopefully our paths cross again. So you know what I mean? So the people who respect, they appreciate the work I do. But there's always people I have problems with, and it's usually people that are just assholes of human beings, and I will never have nice things to say about them. I'm sure I live on in their memory too. But anyway, I thought I'd outgrown all this shit. That's the thing. So, like, what drama do I walk into next then? Because I don't need this shit for the rest of my life, to be totally honest. I hate working for idiots. I just do. And it seems to be one idiot after another. Ineptitude. And you think you've outgrown it, clearly I haven't. And yeah, so like when I say I am really fed up and fuming, deep inside I am really pissed. Because I've outgrown all that crap. I don't need this no more. I've got no patience. My patience level's like getting reduced. It's like I've got nothing. So I could end up walking out as soon as I start, in all honesty. Because I see through people faster and faster and faster now. So I'll know if someone's kind or if someone isn't. I did a very brief spell at Amazon, actually, before I just wrap up. I was just curious because I'd never worked in one. I thought if you worked in warehousing, you should have at least worked in an Amazon. This was a delivery center, the last one before it goes out for delivery. Actually, quite fun. I enjoyed it. It had all these things. Amazon's bad. Amazon's bad. Amazon was good. I wasn't there long because I got pissed off that I heard that I didn't realize when we got hired that it was only for Prime Day, which was like in a week or so. And then apparently after Prime Day, they sack a lot of the staff. They literally only bring you in waves. And I was like, well, I didn't sign up for this shit. If that's all it is, I don't give a shit then. That wasn't full time. I think it was like 30 hours a week, something like that. It was good though. It worked like start at 5 or 6, and you was home by lunch. You know, it's like that's nice. Um, and it was a really good experience. I really enjoyed it because I like variation. So you're having to sort things out. So you'd have people on a conveyor belt putting it on your like you've got like aisle locations, which is cool. They'd put in this tray thing in front of you, and then you'd have 2 aisles to do, like one here and then one next to you. So you'd have to just make sure that it doesn't get overwhelmed. You know, get that, and then you scan it, and then things would light up in the right bay. I thought that's cool. Never seen that before. Things lighting up makes it easier. And then boom, you just keep following it, and then you have a little look round. If the other one's filling up, you better go round there and do that one. It's fun. So there's people that have been hired like maybe a week or so before me, and they weren't performing. I chatted to them; they were fine. They were all right to talk to. Um, but they apparently the person who was training, who had trained me, the person who's in charge, I don't know, admin. Um, they were pressuring them to do better, but they were really impressed with me. So she's like, you know what? Can we get you to go over here? So it's a bit more busy. This, you know, wherever they were elevating me, and that was cool because obviously once I knuckle in, I do well. But I liked it. I actually liked that because you were sorted in the morning shift. Then you had a tea break for about 9 o'clock. Then you would come back from tea break and everybody just stopped what they were doing. And I thought, oh, this is great because I like teamwork. I like when everyone's doing bloody teamwork. Like we all do the same shit. There's no egos here. So then it was all of a sudden, come back from break, and now everyone gets cages, and we now just start. You get, I can't remember if it's a piece of paper. I can't remember if it's a piece of paper now. I think it might be a piece of paper. I can't remember how it all worked now. But either way, you then have to go shoot around, get the box, the big bags that you'd been filling up, depending on where you have to go, of course. And you just zip it up, whatever one you got to get, where the location set, smack it onto the cage, and then go round and get to war and blah blah blah. When they're all filled, I think it was like nine on a cage, maybe 9 or 12. I can't remember. And then it would tell you what bay to go, drop it off, grab another cage, go around. It's a simple task, but I like the fact it was varied between morning and evening. And the only reason I stopped really was the fact that I'm not a puppet. So you know, if it's not a position, it's not a position, is it? I might as well not bother. Um, Again, integrity. It's like if you're not going to be fair, you're not going to be honest, and don't interest me. You know. But anyway, yeah. Anyone might listen and think I'm the unhinged lunatic, and I would argue in some degree I am. Um, But you know, like I say, I think I've outgrown all that crap now. I don't need more of these freaking stories. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if people understand my position with this or not, but I am really fed up with it. To be honest, I think I do well enough of what I do that I shouldn't need to keep doing that. But the universe has other plans with my life, and I do get really frustrated with the plan.